Today's episode is appropriately titled The Alcohol-Free Marriage. My guests today are Matt and Amy Edwards, and they have their own podcast called The Alcohol-Free Marriage and More. This episode is part one of a two-part series that will continue on their podcast. Amy and Matt are certified 2.0 marriage coaches, and Amy is also a licensed Choose Freedom coach with me, and she helps others change their relationship with alcohol using the daily devotional and the Choose Freedom program, as well as some of her own programs. Today, we're going to talk about how a marriage relationship can grow as you put alcohol to the side and make sure Jesus is at its center. I think their story is an important one because they didn't quit drinking at the same time. There was a 9-month gap between when Amy stopped and when Matt stopped. So today you will walk away understanding exactly how that process went for them. If you're enjoying this podcast, I want to ask you to please take the time to rate it and follow it on the platform you're listening to it in. Tell your friends about it too. This is how more people will find out about it and be inspired to take the alcohol-free challenge as well. Let's listen in. It's hard to quit drinking when another person in the house is drinking, but there are plenty of people who do it. And we're just going to talk about the process because today it is an alcohol-free marriage, which I love. And clearly there's a message that you two want to give to others and hope that you want to give to others. So welcome, Matt and Amy.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited to be here.
Yeah. Amy, your journey is so similar to mine in our drinking habits, and even in the month and year that we chose to quit drinking. We're both positive intelligence coaches. You're certified, right?
I am certified in the foundations. I'm working on my certification for the next level.
Awesome. Yeah, I am certified as well. Didn't know there were levels. And definitely a science I love, and it's super important to and helpful in coaching people through this. But tell me about your decision to quit alcohol. It was COVID related, right?
Yes. Well, in 2020, January 2020, I decided that I wanted to really get closer to God. So I decided that I would read the Bible in a year. I had never done that before. Lots of Bible studies, lots of devotionals, all of that. And so I started January 1st with some friends, and I'm still drinking. And the cognitive dissonance, the double-mindedness kept getting worse and worse.
Yeah, do you want to explain what cognitive dissonance is? Even though a lot about it.
Cognitive dissonance is when you're living, you have one truth here, but you also have another truth here.
About the same exact thing.
Yes, about the exact same thing. I am drinking a toxic substance that is giving me anxiety. It's taking away so much from me, but yet I felt like there was just such a need for it in my life. And that's, where this double-mindedness came from. And I just struggled. And I struggled with that for probably about 7 years. And it just, when I went into this process of deciding I wanted to get closer with God and in my relationship, it just got worse. And I had in January, I would love to say this was the last time I had a, drink. I had an evening with Matt and our son where I call it a brownout. So I was kind of coming in and out of memories. And I thought, oh my gosh, I did this in front of my kid. That's not what I want, but it still wasn't there yet. And so fast forward to March, as we are going into lockdown, we were supposed to go on a trip to Florida for spring break. We had to cancel that. And we went out and we bought up a ton of booze. We were going to party at home and have a great time. And I think we bought enough booze for 6 weeks. And all of a sudden, on a Tuesday night after being out with friends on a social distancing party. I decided, and I didn't drink probably that much, nothing more than I normally did. But in the middle of the night, as we do so many times, I woke up in the middle of the night, completely stressed and full of regret. What are you doing? And I just remember having that conversation with God where it's like, you got to quit. You got to stop this or you're going to die. And
Before,
I remember that.
before we talk about that, can you tell me about, how we as coaches, we go into the areas of your life that you feel it's affected? What areas do you feel that alcohol is affecting you in mostly?
Health, mental health, huge. I had anxiety and depression. Like, I mean, it was off the charts. So my mental health, that was huge. I was also having physical issues that I was ignoring. I was starting to have pain, underneath my rib, going, oh, what's this? I had some unexplained bruising, which I found out later was because my liver probably wasn't processing
Wow.
alcohol. hmm And I had this extreme self-loathing that every morning I woke up, I couldn't stand the person I was. It affected our relationship. And I would say that we didn't fight or things like that. But I would just say that there's two people who were sitting side by side who were not,
Far apart.
who were far apart. You would think, oh, yeah, we do everything together. We do all these things together. But our life revolved around alcohol. And when we came home, by God, we deserved to come home because we worked hard and we were going to sit and enjoy our cocktails and just sit there and veg out. And we were not communicating.
Right.
It
That
affected
would-
our,
Yeah,
yeah,
this
go on.
is such a big, big deal. And that's what I like to tell people. Like, we long for relationship and connection. And yet, I think in your bios, I read that you were drinking buddies. I mean, you were best buds, drinking buddies. So, Matt, share with me what you were thinking during that exact same time frame about your own drinking, about her drinking, about your both drinking. Was anything happening in your thought process?
I think I was just I had the thought, and I'd called her from a business trip one time. It was probably 5 years before we quit drinking, so probably 9 years ago now. But I'm like, I've got to get this under control, and I've got to do something about this. And then got home from that and didn't do anything about it. And so I always had that thought of like, I need to drink less, or maybe I'll take a break. But well, she's drinking, then I will, kind of thing. And I kind of was the ringleader, probably more so than she was. And it's like, well, but I don't really want to give up my best friend. And I kind of, I don't think I can do this by myself. And, I don't want, so I just sort of like too scared to take that first step. So I just kept on keeping on. Yeah. I just sort of was like, well, I'll just keep on going, which made it
So you
yes.
knew it was a problem for you as well, but
Yeah.
you were stuck in basically all the things that we're talking about that our clients are stuck with. How do
Right.
I do this when I have a spouse that is drinking and maybe doesn't even want to quit? I mean, and Matt, your thought process is similar to most people's, right? It's the cognitive dissonance. I really want to quit, but no.
Yeah.
Not
No,
right.
I didn't know how to go about it, and I didn't know how to like talk to her about it. And to Amy's point, we would sit there and not talk and just drink. And so it's like, well, drinking made everything quote unquote better. So, and I always looked at alcohol as my best friend. And why would I want to give that up? Even though every day I hated myself and I was always looking for ways to cover up the smell or cover up how much I was drinking or be sure I could get a drink or, all the mind games you play when you're in that hole.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And so, Amy, you and God had a conversation.
Yes, we did. And so I immediately, as many of us do, I picked up my phone in the middle of the night and I'm scrolling and I found a program and I signed up for it. It was a program that I had been looking at. It was like a 21-day reset. And I was going to reset my relationship with alcohol and then I was going to be able to go back to drinking. because I would have it under control. And so, but with that, the next day I got up and I told him, hey, I just want to let you know, and on a walk, because that's what we were doing during COVID, was going on walks. So everybody, he and I are on a walk, and I'm not looking at him because I couldn't look at him because I didn't know how to tell him that his drinking buddy was not going to be drinking with him anymore.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I said, this is what I'm going to do. I am not telling you to quit. I don't want, just don't quit. I don't want to, this is about me. And then you shared something. You should probably share what you shared with me
Well,
around that time. But you were supportive.
I was supportive, and I was like, I've been wanting to cut back or whatever. Still not really think I need to quit. But I also had been to the doctor, and they had done some tests, and I had some mild fatty liver. And of course, my doctor's like, as a lot of health practitioners can be, oh, if you only drink, a couple, regular beers a day, you'll be fine with this quote unquote kind of fatty liver. Like there's a kind, but anyway. So I shared that with her. So I'm like, I should probably cut back. So, you know what? I'll moderate. That was going to be my golden ticket, was moderation.
Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it?
Yes, the moderation.
Yes, that was.
And so
nowadays, not to interrupt, but nowadays I say, I'd rather drink or not drink, because moderation is way more work than either one.
Amen. I'm like, God, mental gymnastics. That's what we
it's
tried
horrible.
to do for 10 years. I think no.
Yeah. And so he just tells me this. I'm like, oh my gosh. So you were very supportive. So, but
he finally kind of broke that,
I'm like,
chain of like, oh, somebody finally said it, right? I think we were both thinking it, but one of us finally, got the guts to say.
But you didn't quit.
No,
I mean, that was one of the things. You're like, no, I'm not, Amy, I'm not. I remember you saying, I'm not quitting. Right. I do remember, I'm going to cut back. And I'm like, okay, you can cut back, but I have to do this. And I think I made it really clear. Like, I can't do this anymore. Right. I just had that feeling inside. If we're going into lockdown, we didn't know what was going to happen. And my fears were, oh my gosh, this could get so bad for you. And I firmly believe, that was a message from God saying, you have got to stop this. And so I did. And you were listening to podcasts. I was listening to different podcasts. I'm sending him information. He's actually sending me information. It was kind of interesting, even though you weren't really, hey, here's something interesting for you. I'm not quitting, remember.
Yes. Yeah.
But here, this will help you. So he would do those things. And then we really tried to, when I was having difficulties, you were so good. You never said just have one. Oh, you're fine. You did not do that. That for me was probably a saving grace, because I know that happens in relationships. You're fine. Your drinking isn't that bad.
Right.
And people and
well, they don't understand. Yeah.
But in my world, I was like, as far as I was concerned, as long as I could have a drink, I had no real need to pressure her. Like, I could still have my drink. So, I didn't feel like I was missing anything by her not drinking. So I was like,
well, she obviously wasn't judging you.
Right.
He was doing it for her, which is one of the things that I'm sure we both do in coaching is when people talk, like, first of all, this may not be applicable to you, but it is to a lot of people that I coached. It's like they're having so many problems with their spouse, but I can't do it, and they're drinking. I'm like, it's not about them right now. Not about them. You want to quit because you need to quit. So let's just give it this 12 weeks or this 3 months. And I think you're going to just look at everything differently. Like, we do not want to trust what's going through our minds today, because it's senseless. It's enemy driven. It's nonsense. And, but we believe it to be true today, and we understand. So, okay. Well, how'd it go, Amy?
Well, I kept adding days, because on around day 14, and I just told this story earlier today, is day 14, I believe that's when I came back online. My life went from gray to Technicolor. I came back online. I all of a sudden had this. I was in a car, was driving my car, music playing, beautiful spring day, windows down, birds playing, and I just started to cry. But it was like these tears of joy, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're just a mess. What's what?" But I was laughing, I was giggling, and I feel like that's when I came back online, and I remember thinking, "I don't think I'm going back."
'Cause you went into quitting with not the goal of quitting
No,
forever.
the goal was
It's like a
get it under control.
right.
And I then all of a sudden, and I remember telling you, I don't know. I just want to let you know this. I don't think I'm going back.
That was probably a bigger
Yeah.
light bulb moment for me than the initial, like, I'm going to quit for a while. Because I think the initial was like, I need to
Yes.
stop for, a month or whatever. So I think that was easy. When she said, I might not be going back, that was a little bit more of a wake up call. I'm like, oh, if this is going to be forever, it's like, oh, this will be changed. Like, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to the opposite though. I went like, okay, let's go when everything started open. Yeah, let's go to a brewery. I want to take, you can go. I'm going to go too. I'm going to drink whatever. I'm not going to drink,
So you were
alcohol.
pushing into situations that were uncomfortable to get used to.
Absolutely. I had to do that. I had to go. I had to, you know what? I had to go to events. I had to go to graduation parties. I went to these different things. I made sure that I always had a drink in my hand when we would go into places. I always had my water. I practiced. I told people I would sit there and practice ordering a club soda
Yeah.
in line.
And I want to stop for a coaching moment because I know we both subscribe to this. But the secret to being successful when we know we're going to be in a challenging situation is to, one, express to somebody else or know, to believe ourselves that we're going to see ourselves getting to the other side, which is what I heard you say, to make sure somebody else knows that's your plan. Right. So it might be a spouse, it might be a friend at the party, it might be the support group you're in, right? I'm going to this party and I'm coming home without drinking.
Yes.
And it's to have this plan, like you just said it all, right? Here's what I'm gonna order. So you have this vision of what you're gonna do there and how you're gonna come out. Because if you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do it, and you secretly plan,
Yes.
it just isn't going to work out as well
Yeah.
because what I like to say is you're just negotiating with the enemy and he's very cunning and you're going to lose that battle, right? So in order it's like going into battle and you armor up and it makes it super easy because you're armed. Yeah.
You go in with a plan. You
Mhm.
have to go in with a plan wherever. And that was one of the things. I always made sure I had a plan. Okay, I'm getting there early so I can go get my drink, have it in my hand so no one even has to ask me.
Yeah. I
heard
that one go early.
Yeah, I would go and find a different bar. If we were at an event and they had two bars, I would go to the bar that was maybe in the hotel lobby and get my drink, and I would walk in. I would have a drink already. Those were the things that I had to do.
The art of camouflage.
Yes.
You
No one
know
ever
what's
asked me.
weird? I just realized this. When I drank, I don't think anybody asked me what I was drinking. But when I didn't drink, I would order soda water, cranberry, and lime. And it's beautiful, right? And everybody, even if I just wanted people to believe I was doing a vodka cranberry, they, oh my gosh, that looks so good. What are you drinking? And so I'd have to tell them anyway. And then you have to be armed with your story.
Yeah.
No.
And the story was, honestly, my story was, I'm on a break. I feel so good right now. I'm doing well. I'm just going to be on a break from seeing how life is like without alcohol. And people would look at me and go, "Oh, okay. I don't know what to do with that."
I think that a lot of people end up,
people don't,
on average, people are like, well, again, like I was with you, I can still have my drink, so whatever.
Yeah.
nobody really
Yeah.
generally cares.
I think that was a huge realization that as long as other people got to
They're
drink,
more concerned about getting their own drink than worrying about you not having
then
to drink.
they didn't care
In general, unless it's
in
your
general.
unless it's your drinking buddy and your drinking buddy is only your
Right.
drinking buddy because they're a drinking buddy.
Yeah.
That's I have found too, it's very
Yes.
upsetting to lose friends when
True.
you stop drinking. But those aren't the kind of friends you want.
Yeah.
So,
And I would have to say, like, I had a lot of things that came up. Like, we had our vacation, our family vacation that we would go on every year that we always drank with your parents. And
Well, you and I did. I mean, we boat drink and
yeah, and we drank with your parents. That was it. We drank everywhere on vacation at this resort. And for me, it was going in again, being prepared. We probably were so over prepared for me with NA drinks. I mean, it was ridiculous. There was no way I could drink this much NA
anything.
Overhydrated. Yeah. I mean, but it was a learning and going through it, it's uncomfortable.
the first time it is.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable the first time.
Your whole being is going, well, this is a new situation, and as any new situation is a little uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about this maybe even this morning. I moved to Scottsdale, Arizona 3 years ago, and I'm single, and the wonderful thing about Scottsdale is the restaurants and the happy hours, and not just because of the drinks, because they're giving discount food. So I would start going to the happy hours and going to the bars. And I remember it was uncomfortable because I was sitting at a bar, I mean, without a drink, and I was looking around like everybody had a glass of wine. But it was uncomfortable the first maybe 2 times. And now I do it all the time. And I don't even think about it.
No, I don't either. I mean, I think that's the beauty of it. We go out now. Our son got engaged this past weekend.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And we made preparation ahead of time to have, an NA drink for us. And they obliged. They came out.
Put in the same glass.
Put it in like these, fun little flutes and everything. I did not feel
deprived
at all.
And if you look at the picture, we all look like we're having the same thing to drink. And yeah.
It was, and I even made sure that I called ahead. They ended up having NA toast for us. It's sparkling tea. It was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. So, Amy, back to your quitting, it seemed to happen pretty quickly for you, which, by the way, I think scientifically, your body has gone into homeostasis. For most people by 2 weeks. So that's probably what clicked for you. And in this scenario, it's usually 30 days where you feel this pop. I don't remember feeling the pop. And just again, for our listeners, it took me 75 days to say, I don't want to do this anymore. So it can happen to different people over different times. I definitely thought I was going to drink again after my 90 days. But about 75, I had that moment that you had, like, oh my gosh, no.
Yeah.
This is way better.
Yes, it is. Now, I will say that we did have, I had some issues on Rage. It wasn't all sunshine and roses. Sure. I did feel good, but my body, even probably around
3 or 4 months in.
Yeah, 3 or 4 months in, I started to have a lot of rage.
And it was strange because it was things that, and as far as I was concerned, like we had talked about or dealt with, like where were these things coming back up? I'm like, what are you? I was freaking out about this stuff that's like old news. Like we've talked about these things, and what are you? And I don't even know what to do with this information.
I would come in and unload on him like every morning, and so that was awful. And finally, I think at about 2.5 weeks, you're so sweet. You're just such the kindest man, and you're like, I think we need to have a counselor. Or we need to get marriage therapy, or we need. So when he said that, though, it was a huge wake up call for me. Again, going, all right, you have some unresolved anger issues here with this. And so I started to research that. I mean, I took full control of this whole prospect. Yes,
Yeah.
responsibility.
Because you were clear thinking too.
Yes,
I mean,
and I'm
you were,
like,
but you
but
wanted.
it was like coming out, and I was, it was all coming out. So I'm a big, again, proponent of exercising, breath work, moving this energy out of your body is so important.
Mhm.
And if you are having those, I mean, and you were, thank heavens, you were so upfront. You're like, okay, this is not acceptable. And so that I had to work through that. And I had to look and say, okay, what's going on? A lot of journaling, you know,
And I think that's for most people, you need both. I had counseling
yes.
for years to deal with some trauma before I could quit drinking. And then I quit drinking. And then I had to still get away from some super unhealthy thinking, like I'm not lovable and nobody likes me and I'm good for nothing. So we drink to medicate ourselves because we
Right.
want
Yeah.
to deal with something. And yeah,
Yeah. You
so
clear that alcohol, and all of a sudden the mute button turns off, and you have to deal with it all of a sudden again. And you're not drinking to mute it
exactly.
again. It's like, oh crap! Now what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
So so we know that something came out in 3 or 4 months, but what is Matt, you're looking at this, are you controlling your drinking? Are you trying, what's happening with you? What are you
So,
noticing about her and what's going on with you?
so when she had those moments, I was glad I was still drinking, to be perfectly frank. Uh, but it's funny because she's doing that. We're very as far as the alcohol goes, we're very open in communicating about what we're doing. I'm saying I'm trying to moderate, and so I would have like I forget what the number was, two beers a night, and then I'd have like NA beer or something, whatever. But even within that, and she wouldn't have cared. I mean, she's already made it very clear that she was you do you, what I'm doing me, you do you. I would still lie about my drinking, and I would take an NA beer and and I didn't even drink vodka, but I bought a bottle of vodka, hid the bottle of vodka, and would top off my NA beer with some vodka so that it would obviously no longer be an NA
Matt,
beer.
that sounds absolutely disgusting.
Oh no, I mean that's how So it's like, oh, and so then the garbage can matched my drink. I had 2 beers and then I had 2 NA beers. Well, really I had 4 beers because I made it in vodka beer, which is weird, but yes. So, and that's part of the gymnastics we were talking about, right? So then I get to the end of the year and I'm like, you know what? She's done it for this long. And I think, being the trailing spouse in this scenario makes it a little bit easier because by 8, 9 months, she's kind of stabilized herself. She's got a lot of tools she's known. She can kind of help guide me a little bit. She'd become a coach by that point. Or
No, I was looking into it.
So I'm like, so I did the same thing. I'm like, well, I'll do 30 days with the same intent of I'll do 30 days and I'll start again.
Right, January.
Yeah, I did a dry January, but after 30 days, like I had horrible anxiety like Amy, and my anxiety was gone, mostly gone. And I had awful stomach issues. Like I had taken 3 Imodiums a day for I can't tell you how long.
Years.
And I haven't taken an Imodium in 4 years now. So I need to tell anybody who's ever talked to me about, oh, I have all these stomach problems. Like, do you drink? Yes. Talk to me after you stop drinking. Then you can go see your doctor and see what's really wrong. Because my doctor said, oh, you have IBS and this and that. No, I had ABS, alcohol bowel syndrome. I made that up myself. But I mean, quitting drinking, and I am as free as a bird now. And, I actually have dreams now that I start drinking again. And it's not the panic of I start drinking again that ruins that dream. It's the fact that in my dream, I feel like, oh no, I'm going to have bathroom problems again because I started drinking. So just to not have that in my life and the freedom that brings is enough to not make me want to even bother with it. Like, why would I go back to that poison?
Well, I just used to wait for a doctor to diagnose me with something because I knew I was affecting my health. My
Right.
blood pressure was high, my weight was high, my anxiety was high, my depression was high. Every time I had any type of medical issue, I'd look it up. Does this happen when you drink excessively? Yes. And now if something's wrong, oh, how freeing it is to like take that as at least you can take that off the table and have.
But too many people want to say, well, let me fix the problem without getting rid of the alcohol. Give me a pill or something else so I don't have to take the alcohol away, even though the alcohol is probably causing that problem.
I wish somebody had told me how toxic it was. I mean, this whole resveratrol or, health,
Oh,
there's
yes.
nothing, I look at it as the same thing as the cigarette industry did. They just glamorize it, and there's nothing to glamorize.
Yeah.
So,
And I think now, and I don't, there was a recent study where they compared a bottle of wine to how many cigarettes. And for women, I think it was like 15 cigarettes is the equivalent. And for men, and maybe it was 10, but it,
Still.
15, 10. But for men, I know it was 5. Like, so a bottle of wine. And women, we metabolize alcohol differently. The older we get, the less we can metabolize it. And I wish I would have known how much, I'm going through perimenopause, menopause, and all of that. And it's like, it's not the wine. It's just I'm getting older.
An
yeah,
excuse.
exactly.
Yeah.
So now here's the good part. So you're friends and you're good friends, and you were just thinking that you were having a relationship, sitting on the couch drinking with each other. What's happened since you both quit drinking?
Well, I would say even when I quit drinking, our relationship started to get better. I mean, I was more available to you. I was much more just present.
Right.
And I think that was huge. I mean, I was seeing things happen in our relationship. And then when you quit, then I know for me, it just got even better.
Well, you end up with all that free time you're wasting on drinking. You start picking up new hobbies and start doing more things together because, like, oh, and you start having real conversations. And we decide, hey, let's become marriage coaches and let's start working out at the gym. And it's like it's all these knock on effects of like, I'm not drinking, so what can I do that's more productive? And you start feeling better. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I do this, and now I feel more better.
Well, and also, I mean, the big thing was you quit. And I was so excited because I'm like, okay, don't
But
jinx
she
it.
lied. She lied. She's like, oh, okay. She just
Don't-
kept quiet.
I was like, don't jinx it. It's okay. I'm like, okay, that's awesome, and I was very supportive of you.
Yes.
And then I started coaches training, went through that. And then in the fall, after you had quit, I started asking Matt, you know what? We used to podcast. We should podcast again. And you were like, tell him, I know you've said this before.
What?
If you committed to an alcohol-free podcast, you're like, oh,
Oh,
then I
then-
really,
yeah, then I can't do that.
really done drinking.
Yeah, then it'd be my turn to be like, oh, I'm for sure
So
not
you-
going back. Yeah.
So you weren't quite there, which was
Right.
totally fine. But then finally, I think it was the next day. You'd been done for over a year, and you were, hey, maybe we should. So we decided to start our podcast.
But we have so much more fun with non-alcoholic drinks than we ever have with alcoholic drinks. Because I always tell people, I didn't collect anything. I didn't get creative. I just wanted my drink. Get a bottle of wine, get a bottle of gin or a bottle of beer, whatever. That was our whatever, the cheapest because I'm going to drink a lot of it. Now we like collect things and we learn new mixed drinks and
Yeah.
cocktails. We want to try new things and we call ourselves like these non-alcoholics because our fridge is full of all this NA stuff that we tried. We feature on the podcast and all this stuff. And it was so much fun. We actually had to buy a bar kit because we got rid of our bar kit and our martini glasses and we quit drinking. Now we make all these mixed mocktails. We had to buy all that crap again because we didn't have it anymore.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm gonna start posting as a free resource, your mocktail guide. It's really
Thank you. Yeah. And so we did that. And then last year, through our podcast, we were doing a podcast interview and with Jill and Mark Savage, who they're our 2.0 coaches. So they started this coaching program. We signed up for it. And we were like, you know what? I think we're being called to help others. Because we started to really communicate. Like we were having real conversations again.
Right.
Instead of just sitting there consuming alcohol. It's like, oh, let's go do something. Let's go do this. How about, communication started again with us. And so now we have a weekly, it's our marriage guide, our weekly meeting.
Marriage meeting guide.
Yeah. Yes. I always say that wrong. Our marriage weekly meeting guide. And it helps you to have really real good conversations. And there's a script involved in it, so it takes you through it.
It's quick. It's not
It's
very
quick,
long.
and
Because I have a
but
short attention span. I'm not going to do super long projects.
yeah, but you look at everything and you look at your week, how you're going to connect with each other, how you're, what are you going to do?
What's weighing heavy on you?
Yeah,
What do you
what's weighing,
appreciate?
yeah.
What are you excited about? So it gives you a chance to kind of cover the gamut of emotion. And I think we're more effective with that as non-drinkers than if we were drinking. I
Oh,
think it still would mute some of that relationship.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're open.
yeah, I have to imagine the connection that you have now is exponentially better.
Yeah. I mean, it is. And we've done different things. Like we went and did that. It wasn't with the big zip line.
Mhm,
Remember when we did
mhm.
that? Like I would have never done that before. Let's get on this giant zip line. I'm like, all right, let's do it. We've done other fun things together
Right.
that we wouldn't have done prior to.
Well, a lot of it was my stomach things. I wouldn't do a
Yes.
lot of things because of my stomach issues and would I be near a bathroom and all that anxiety. And I don't have that now.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that she would have suggested I wouldn't have done because of that. And so now,
Yeah. Well, day trips. Like
Yep.
we do lots of day trips. We're 2 hours south of Chicago. And we used to, whenever we would go to Chicago, you had to stay because you were going to drink and you couldn't drive home after being in the city.
Right.
And now it's like, yeah, we
Isn't
can
it
drive out.
freeing to be able
It
to
is.
drive home and now the
feel-
only thing you have to worry about is other people, right?
well,
Yeah.
you get very aware of that.
Yes. Yeah. But it's so freeing. It's like, I can go here. I don't have to, I mean, I don't have to worry about myself anymore.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think that, I mean, when you're on the road at 10 p.m. at night and you're looking around going, I am completely sober. I can drive. If I get pulled over, whatever.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter. That is true freedom.
Yep.
And we've had some medical things, not with us, but like our son had an accident, an injury a couple of years ago. And guess what? If it was happened at like 8 o'clock at night. If that would have happened when we were drinking, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine the two of us going to the hospital with him and trying to help with all of that. And we were completely present. And again, that was such a gift. It's like we were there. We could absolutely be there for him.
Yeah, it's just processing information is so much easier, processing problems. And Matt, did you even make the connection between the alcohol and the digestive problems, or it wasn't until after you quit that you realized, like, oh my gosh?
No, I knew I would, like, if I drank too much, like, in the morning, but I had this whole like routine too, right back to that mind space it was taking up. Wake up in the morning. Well, if I have an early flight, I gotta wake up like even earlier so I can kind of get my system moving and lock down and take plenty of Imodium so that I can get on the plane. Like every activity required this mental, gymnastics.
Gymnastics. Yeah.
Mhm.
But no, I was like, well,
But you thought it was caused from acne medication
yeah,
when you
there's
were
always
when
other
you were in
excuses,
college. You were like, oh no,
or I
my
can't, or milk, like I can't have ice cream and all, right? Like I couldn't drink coffee. I shouldn't have ice cream or lactose intolerant. I was making up all these excuses. I drink coffee now. I eat ice cream now. I don't need a Xanax
Yeah.
when I get on an airplane now. Like all these things that I thought were problems. And I knew the alcohol didn't really help it. Like I knew it could kind of trigger it, but I didn't realize it was the sole cause of it. Right. And I would switch. Well, beer makes it worse. So I'll drink gin. Oh, no, gin makes it worse. I'll go back to beer. Well, if you don't drink so much, that would make it all better.
And that is really the premise behind the plans he has for me, right? Is the documentation of what's getting better.
Right.
What is getting better? Wait. And you just realize it's like this, it's so easy to tell people that God has a better plan because he does. And documenting it every step of the way.
Yeah.
We don't have the shame. Neither one of us have the shame
Yeah.
anymore.
I mean, and we used to say, we had our 5 o'clock somewhere life on, like Friday nights.
At 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock. Yeah. And then you would go into church and you'd wake up and you feel horrible. I was in choir. Singing in choir is absolutely the worst thing to be hungover and trying to sing. It was miserable. absolutely miserable, and that disconnect. And finally, it's so free now.
Yep, hung over in a church pew, you know.
Freedom, freedom.
Freedom, yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, this has been like for us. I mean, I feel so blessed. I'm so glad that you followed, that you decided to do it. But if you wouldn't have,
I could have been dead. Who knows?
I mean, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I felt so good. I wasn't going back.
The only thing I didn't get back was my hair.
There are limitations.
There are limitations, 100%.
All right. So if people want to get in touch with you, Amy, for alcohol-free coaching, or for you both for Marriage 2.0 coaching,
Yeah.
how do they do that?
If they would just, they can just go to Amy at joyontheotherside.com. Just that's my email. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of both of us.
AFMpodcast.com.
Yeah.
Or the podcasts are all linked from jointheotherside.com, or just any of your podcast players, Alcohol Free Marriage and More podcast.
Or you can go to YouTube.
Or YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that.
We're all over the place.
Yeah.
Yay, yay. Well, thank you for sharing. I think we're planning on a part 2 over on your podcast, right?
Yes. We would love for you to come on and share your story, share everything that's going on with your book and the plans he has for me and the Choose Freedom program that I have been blessed to be a part of and to coach. And we'll do that soon.
Yay, yay. Well, thank you both for coming on. It's just been a pleasure. And I know that God has used your story to bless others, which is what it's all about, right? It's just what it's all about. It gives us so much joy. And it's so nice to see you both alcohol free and following your calling. So God bless you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.